So new information is out about the time that Sandra Bland was in jail before being found dead. Now, audio has recently been released of a voicemail sent to her friend from jail that may have revealed something about her mental state before her apparent suicide. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Bland was the African-American woman who was arrested after a police officer pulled her over for not signaling a lane change. She, of course, made the fatal mistake of disrespecting a police officer. Oh, and was arrested for the crime of resisting arrest. That's kind of weird. Arrested for resisting arrest. Okay, anyway, think about that. Now, she originally was supposed to get a warning, but things escalated when she refused to put out her cigarette. And then, when she wouldn't, and he ordered her to get out of the car, she refused that. So he ended up pulling her out of the car, threatening to light her up with a taser until she got out. And of course, things escalated from there, which led to her arrest. Now, she spent 3 days in jail before she was found dead. So now I get to some of the new information, and this comes in the form of audio. Now, this audio has been released, and I have that, so let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Hey, this is me. I just was able to see the judge. I don't really know. They got me set at a $5,000 bond. I'm still just at a loss for words, honestly, about this whole process. How they're switching lanes with no signal turn into all of this, I don't even know. But I'm still here, so I just call me back when you can.
All right. So there it is. Now, to me, she didn't really sound as if she was suicidal. She said, get back to me later when you can. I don't know how this happened. You know, she was about ready to get out. It still doesn't make sense to see that she would kill herself, that she would commit suicide. As I said, I'm not buying it. Now, you can tell from her voice, listening to that she's upset. Of course, who wouldn't be, right? She got thrown in prison for what amounts to be a very minor traffic fine. And of course, all the trauma associated with the arrest, being thrown around, threatened with a taser, having the knee in the back, all of that, very, very distressing. But upset enough to commit suicide, I'm not so sure. I'm not really buying it. Now, police reports have recently come out disputing that by saying that Bland told her jailer that she previously attempted suicide back in 2014. Okay. Now, it is important to mention that during her arrest, and when they talked about it, she said, look, I'm not experiencing suicidal thoughts. I'm actually kind of pissed being arrested like this. Which says to me that she intended to fight this. Now, Representative Sylvester Turner had said that Bland's admission to the authorities actually should have led to increased supervision by jail staff. Now, CNN reported that while she was in jail, she was only checked in through calls to the intercom. Nobody actually came to check on her position or her condition. Nobody checked on her in person. It was all just through the intercom, right? So even if it turns out to be true that she did commit suicide, one would think that the prison itself could be held accountable for not keeping an eye on her like she's supposed to. If they really thought she was a suicide risk, which they're saying now that she did, or that she was, then they would have watched over her. Either way, the Waller County Jail seems to be, would seem to be in a little bit of trouble over this, no matter what happens. Look, it seems like there's a lot of failures of the so-called justice system in this case. And look, I don't want to rule anything out. And I know it might sound a bit conspiratorial, right? But it just doesn't seem likely that somebody who is just, first of all, moving there to start a new job, very successful person, who is an activist, who was obviously fighting the arrest, and you heard, she was ready to fight, and she was ready to take on the Waller County cops. Could you imagine the types of problems that somebody like that could cause for this little county? I'm just saying. a well-known activist who was ready and willing to fight, who has all sorts of energy, ready to take them on. You imagine the types of problems that she could, especially over this kind of arrest, which is already proven to be quite problematic for Waller County. So much so that the guy, Officer Insignia, is actually on administrative leave because of this. And the FBI is investigating this. Sounds like a lot of problems, right? And as I said, that's sort of what makes this seem all the more suspicious. Now, add in the clearly edited tape and the history of racism in Waller County, Texas, and this case continues to get more and more bad in appearance on behalf of course, the Waller County Police Department. It's looking bad for them. It's not looking good. As for me, I'm still going to wait. I need more information. I need more facts. And I'm going to continue to wait to see what the FBI turns up. It's going to be very interesting to follow this thing and to see what happened. If this was not a case of suicide, oof, it's going to be bad for them. It's going to be bad.